All right.
AI.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. State Rep Martin McLaughlin here this morning with Bears legend, if I can say that, Brian Urlacher. One of the reasons I would get up on a Sunday and make sure I was in front of the television was to watch a lot of the fun that this gentleman brought to Chicago and so many fans. Brian, thanks for joining me today and talking about kind of the Bears debacle. What's going on? I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy right now.
Thanks for having me on, Marty. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. It's hard. I don't live in Chicago, so it's kind of hard. I hear second-hand stories, but there's a lot going on, a lot to unpack. I still don't know if they're going to leave or not. I still think there may be a ploy there to try and get the state of Illinois to do some more than they have done so far, which I hope they do. But there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm in the legislature, Brian, but my real job is I manage pensions and money. So I deal all the time with guys that are trying to raise money in private capital markets and, trying to do big investments. And, I'm in the Republican side of the aisle, super minority. So I'm sitting there watching
Yeah.
these guys bumble around and screw this up. And I thought, once they announced Indiana, not only was I embarrassed, I thought, you know what? I'm a business guy. I'm going to put together a straight bill, see if I can kind of put the framework out there and I think it's House Bill 5797. I would have shot for 5054, but they didn't give me the number. So for you and Singletary, I don't know who that is. It might be Zorich and I don't know who Kreutz, right? Wasn't Kreutz the center old
What was your
57?
first? Yeah, OG was
50,
not 57. Yeah, that's a
there
good
you
one.
go. That
That's
wouldn't
a
have been
really good
bad.
one. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
that
one.
wouldn't have been bad. So we got Kreutz and Zorich hopefully bringing this across the line.
I hope
But
so.
yeah, you've been, I'm sure, stadiums all over the country, right? I mean,
Yes, yeah. I mean, every year the new one they build is better than the last one, right? Because they just
right.
every year they get better and better. My favorite one to play in, besides Soldier Field, was AT&T at Dallas, that stadium, because it was built in I think 11 or 12 or 10 somewhere there.
Right,
Man,
right.
it was unbelievable. Just the amenities and how nice it was for the players was incredible.
Yeah, my connection to the NFL is kind of ancillary. My daughter was a Carolina Panthers cheerleader for
Oh,
five
nice.
years.
Okay,
Yeah, so I would
one
go
of your
down to a bunch of
daughters.
yes, my oldest,
Five.
exactly.
Jeez. Yeah,
Yeah, five girls, but yeah,
man.
so we'd go to those games, and I was amazed at how well the NFL fans would travel. It was crazy. They would buy parking garages up on a
Oh,
Friday. They'd bring all their vans and set up. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And when
when
I
we
saw
when
that,
we
I
were oh,
thought,
go ahead, sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead,
no
sorry,
worries.
Marty.
When I saw that, I thought, hey, Bears Stadium, great, but how do we get all the stuff around it? Because that's where the fun and the money is on a Friday, Saturday, even before Sunday.
That's where it's at. That's where I think Chicago, downtown Chicago, the city of Chicago is doing really well. The Bears fans are always going to be there. And like you said,
Right.
when other teams travel, especially when the Bears travel, nothing to do with Soldier Field, they travel well. Not in division games because the division teams don't give us tickets. But when we go to Arizona, when we go to Atlanta, I just remember going on Dallas, Atlanta. When we go on the road with these teams, our fans always turned out. It was crazy how well they traveled. And I don't know if they travel or they just live there or not. I think my theory is everyone lives somewhere warm now who grew up in Chicago
Yeah.
because it was so cold.
Yeah.
But
I'm the only dumb one left, Brian. I'm
it's
still here.
it's a great
Yeah.
place to live. It's a great place to raise your family. I loved it there. I just could not deal with the weather anymore. I'm not as tough as I want to be when it comes to the weather.
Yeah, hey, I understand. I've got one of my daughters was a USC girl, and I
Yeah.
kind of tracked your son a little bit. Is he on the roster out there? Is he going to be playing for
He
Southern Cal?
is a little bit more than on the roster. He's starting out there
Nice,
at USC this year. He started the last
nice.
4 or 5 games of last year, and if everything goes to plan this year, if he stays healthy and nothing, no crazy hiccups, he should be starting this year. Yeah, he'll be a junior. It's exciting, but the weather is amazing in USC as well.
Yeah. So you made some comments and
Yeah,
earlier in the week, and boy, you're right. Not being into the politics, and I'm a guy that runs a business here, but I can
yeah.
see what I can see. When the governor's telling people, "Wow, we can't provide incentives," I'm looking at an $8 billion development here, not just the stadium, everything that's going to go around it in Arlington Heights,
Mm-hmm.
and I know your brother's a mayor. I've worked with him, and Brad Stevens is a good friend in Rosemont, the mayor.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sure
does a
you've
good
run
job.
across
Yeah,
him.
he does a great job.
I'm like, if they do this right, it's going to look like Rosemont on steroids out there. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's why I'm trying to move something forward.
It's just going to bring so many things in, right? I mean, aside from all the money they've given to illegal immigrants and whatever else that Pritzker's done, and the government and the guy downtown as well,
Yeah,
Johnson. I mean,
Brandon, did
they
you hear what he said last week, Brian? He said that
I
Arlington
don't
Heights
know.
couldn't handle the weight. of all
I
the
bet they.
people
Oh my
that would
gosh.
come out there and be,
Uh,
he said there was an infrastructure. And I started cracking up saying, wait a minute.
they're
There
gonna
was that
build one.
congressman, Hank Johnson from Georgia, that said if you had too many servicemen on Guam, it would tip over.
Yeah.
I said,
Gotcha.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this where we're really at in evaluation? So
It
crazy,
doesn't
right?
make sense. The Bears bought that property for a reason. You know,
Yeah,
they know, and business wise, it makes total sense for them to go to Arlington Heights, right? I mean,
right.
or even if the state of Illinois will start cooperating, but Indiana makes a ton of sense right now to me, business wise.
Yeah,
You know, they've never owned the. I don't know how it works out with Soldier Field, what they own, what they don't. I know they don't do
yeah.
as well as they should for those home games or the concerts, but if they build, if they build this new stadium, they should be good. It's. I'm curious. So when they built the old stadium in 2003, we had to play at Champaign for a year. I wonder how Ted Phillips went about that and got that done so
Right,
quick, and they didn't have any
right.
issues. I wonder how Ted. Maybe they should reach out to Ted and ask him what he did.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Ted's
And
Ted's a
yeah,
smart guy. Ted knows what he's doing. I feel like
yeah.
he would maybe give them some insight on how to go about it because they're not getting it done right now. It's not going the way they planned. I don't think.
No, and what's amazing is the governor, they passed a bill in under 48 hours to gerrymander districts in Illinois 2 years ago, but they pretend like, this is creating cold fusion. It's going to take months
Oh,
and months. I've
yeah.
got some friends in the McCaskey family behind the scenes. I have not spoken to any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to give, so the thing I put forward to just let you know, basically the Bears get to own the stadium in Arlington Heights, 2.5 billion minimum investment. We
Yeah.
set the property tax for 30 years so that they know what it's going to be each and every year, growing by 2.5%. And then the state has to put in $1 billion too in infrastructure, but it's not just for the stadium, Brian. It's going to be for everything else around it.
All the stuff
So
around there, I heard it's going to be
yeah,
amazing. Yes.
yeah, the tax revenue would come off of that would probably be 60 to 70 million a year
Oh
for
my.
Arlington Heights area. And
Mm-hmm.
how I did that, I looked at Wrigley Field. We've all gone there, and they pull in
Yeah.
like 35, 40 million a season just at those little businesses around Wrigley.
Yeah.
So this will be way bigger at 3 billion over 30 years. So, you don't have to be a math major to figure out Indiana wants them because they're going to make money. Why
Yep.
can't we keep them in Illinois? And to your point, we've spent billions on illegal migrants, on battery factories, on Rivian. I don't see a whole bunch of hotels and concerts surrounding the battery factory and or the Rivian plant in Bloomington. There's just a bunch of Bojangles and a few
Yeah.
other gas stations around there. But
I'm not a big fan of the idea of them going inside, Marty. I don't like that. Don't like
yeah,
them build. I understand the business wise it makes sense because of they'll get Final Fours. They make it a Super
yeah,
Bowl. They probably get a Super Bowl in the first 5 or 6 years of that stadium because that's how they do it now. If you build a stadium, you get
yeah,
a
the
Super
new
Bowl. That's
shiny
just the way it
penny,
works.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
the
it.
new shiny penny.
When the year I was chosen or elected for the Hall of Fame, it was in Minnesota. So we went to that game. It was not fun. And they have those underground. Everything's underground there, so they understand the weather's cold, and so it was a little bit easier. But I don't know if they can. It's not going to be as fun in Chicago in February
Yeah, look what they did in Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee's got the stadium where they pull the roof open and close based upon what's happening in baseball.
for baseball.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I,
heck, to your point, yeah, it would be great if we could do a dome stadium, but also
no,
have it open up.
I don't want a
Well,
dome
no, let
stadium.
it open
No,
up.
Marty.
Let it open up.
No,
No, no, no.
no.
I'm saying a
Well, they're going to
movable
close it in the
dome.
winter. It doesn't do any good for the Bears because they're not using the elements in their favor.
No,
I
no, that's
believe
what
that.
I'm. Oh, I got what you're saying.
No,
So what you're
they're
saying
not
is
going to
we.
open it in the winter either way, whether it's closable or not. That sucker's
Wait,
not
what
going
are
to be
you saying,
open.
Brian? We couldn't throw a bag of nickels in the wheel mechanism and say, it's out
It's
of
out of
commission
order.
here for you
Well,
know.
I just think it takes away the one advantage that the Bears have, and that's
Oh,
out of
that's
the gate
interesting.
is the weather, and nobody wants to play in that weather. I know when I played there, we didn't enjoy it, but we were used to it. At least we
Yeah,
practiced in it, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
were a little bit adjusted to it.
Well, listen, I don't want to take up all your time, but I really appreciate you coming on and giving your
Yeah,
perspective. And I there's politics and then there's common sense, right? It doesn't make sense
man,
to
the
let
common sense
this
thing is a
thing
big deal.
go to Indiana. So I always say let's make sense common again. Brian, thanks for jumping on. I super appreciate it. Tell Casey I hope to see him on a golf course somewhere, and I will be wearing a hard hat if I'm playing in front of him.
You don't want to see that swing, but I appreciate you having me on, Marty. Good talking to you.
Yeah. Anything else you'd want to toss out there?
I'm excited for the Bears season. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Man, after
Right.
what they did last year, I just don't. I see them getting better and better. I know the division's tough, but they're going to be up there at the front of that division. They are the quarterback. It's so great to see them with a quarterback now.
Yeah,
After
right.
13 years there, we never had 21 different starting quarterbacks in 13
I
years.
know,
To see
crazy.
we got a guy who could be there for 15, 20 years is exciting. Ben Johnson's a stud. It's exciting times now for the Bears, and I hope they get this stadium in the state of Illinois. Dome, whatever, keep it in Illinois. The fans
I know.
deserve it.
I'll do everything I can to see if, and the other day the governor said McLaughlin's plan, it's not certain.
Representative McLaughlin's idea doesn't necessarily solve the problem of addressing what the Bears may want. And oh, by the way, the concerns of the city of Arlington Heights, the village of Arlington Heights, as well as the city of Chicago and the taxpayers across the state.
And I said, hey, I know one thing. It's a straight, no gimmicks, no games business deal. And the last thing I want to do is turn the TV on and see the ham and eggs playing in sponsored by Denny's or Bob Evans breakfast.
I agree with you. I don't want them out of Illinois, and our fans don't deserve that. The Bears fans are the best fans in the NFL. They need them to be in Illinois. That's just like I said earlier, I think they'll get it done. I think there's some negotiation going on behind the scenes. I don't know. I'm not a business guy, so I don't know, but I feel like they're going to get it done and keep them in Illinois.
And thanks. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Marty.
Listen, thanks for all the fun memories. And, somebody said to me, what kind of, we're looking for hits. And I said, yeah, I'm looking for hits in Arlington Heights of somebody coming up the middle and grabbing the Green Bay quarterback and putting him down for a third down loss,
Yes.
So those are the hits that I'm interested in. And I want people to pay attention to this because I think if everyone understands what the opportunity is, hopefully they get these Democrats in Chicago that are afraid of their own shadow to understand it's either Arlington or Hammond. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully they'll figure it out, but that's all about dollar signs, right? I mean, it's going to make business is going to be good in Arlington Heights. It keeps it in Illinois. It's a good thing. It's booming. All right.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right. Good talking with you.
You too.
Guys, if you'd like me to continue with this kind of content, please support me. Like, share, and donate at the links here. Have a great day. Bear down, Chicago Bears.